Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this NCD, Nerd Certified Developer. This is day 4, so we're on right before the finish line. So I really hope you guys are enjoying these courses, this certification. And without further ado, let's start with today's session. So let me just share my screen. I'm gonna share the whole desktop. Okay, so like I said, welcome back. This is day 4 of our course. So I before starting, I want to make a brief recap of what we've learned so far. So first, we learned that we need to install a lot of software. We need to install the WSL or a Linux working environment for Windows. Uh, or use Linux. And we learned that we also need a package manager, whether it's Yarn or npm, that's up to you guys. And all of this, we need it in end to get the near CLI installed on our systems, and that's what's gonna make us able to create smart contracts and to interact with the near blockchain, right? So that's the first part. I would assume that most of you have already installed all the things that are needed for us to get working. And after that, we also learned how to create a project from the ground up using quite handy tool called Create New App. It's basically just a script that executes on Node. Uh, and this creates us a starting app, a boilerplate app, so we can start coding on it. So we also learned how to do that. We then saw how to code some functions using assembly script mainly. You can also use Rust. I haven't touched anything about Rust on this course because I think it's a bit more advanced, but with assembly script is enough for you guys to get started with your project, right? I'm gonna be looking at some code today, and I'm also gonna teach you how to deploy a contract, because as of now we've been deploying the contracts using disposable dev accounts. Those are the dev dash a bunch of numbers accounts that we are using in order for us to test our contracts, right? So they are disposable. We can create a lot of accounts. They all have tokens, and we can basically work whatever we want. Like I actually really like this feature here on Near because well, before I'm basically I have only worked with Near mostly. I have also used other protocols, but like just a bit. My expertise is here on Near, right? But in other protocols, mainly Ethereum, I struggle so much to get tokens. I don't know how people do to get tokens so they can to get not even real tokens, test tokens. I don't know how you guys do to get the test tokens and be able to test all of your apps, because I struggle so much. I actually ended up not getting any test token. I used an old account I found in my browser. So yeah, the fact that Near just gives you a bunch of test tokens and you can do whatever you want with them, it's just so useful. So that's a perk that we have here using the dev accounts, right? So yeah, that's the 4 things. Well, I mean, I've explained a bit more about other stuff, but mainly for your project, that's the 4 things that you need to know. Well, there's one missing. That's what I'm going to teach you today. But yeah, recap: installing software, creating a project, coding functions, and deploying the dev account for testing, right? So, as of now, anybody has any questions about all of these? Anybody wants me to give you more material to read up on any of these subjects, or is all of this clear? Remember, you can also check the videos on YouTube. If any of the sessions are useful for you, you can just rewatch them and work on them, right? But even so, if you have any questions right now, just raise your hand and I'll get to you. So anybody? I'm gonna clean my glasses while I look for raise hands here on Zoom. I don't see any raised hands, so well, I'll guess with that everything about this is clear enough. Again, if it's not, just rewatch the videos. And even if it's not, remember, I told you first session, look it up. If you can find it, just ask me on Discord. You also have my Telegram account, so you can also ask me on Telegram, whatever works for you the best. I personally, well, every Hispano member are more active on Discord, so I would just suggest if you can ask on Discord, because if I don't see it for some reason, someone else can see it and someone else can help you guys. There are a lot of developers there. There's a cool community. So again, if you haven't joined our Discord, I would encourage you to do so. I'll send you the invite again in a bit. So yeah, well, now we did a brief recap. Now I want to know, how are you guys doing? How are your proposals going? Anybody has work on them? Anybody has finished it already? Raise your hand if you want to talk with us. Remember, guys, this is the last session. You're gonna have to, well, you're gonna have the chance to ask me directly here on camera, one-on-one. So I would seize this opportunity a lot, because as of tomorrow, you're gonna need to have your project finished, right? So any raise hands? I don't see any raise hands. I just want to go over. Oh, okay, go ahead. Hello, Chandra.
Tomorrow at which time? I was asking tomorrow at which time should it be ready?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question, Chandra. We're basically gonna send you a form that you need to fill out with the information of your project. It's going to ask you for a GitHub repository link and a couple more questions. So all of that you need to fill out 1 hour before our session. So 7 p.m. your time. Well, I'm guessing your time, because these sessions are 8 p.m. Your time. So 7 p.m., 1 hour before this session starts, or tomorrow's session rather, you need to have already filled out that form and submitted your project. But remember, guys, in order for you to be able to submit a project, you need to register, because I see most people haven't still registered on the Airtable submission form that I've been sending you guys. So if you plan to actually submit a project, you need to have registered first on that one. The form we're gonna send you guys is a very similar form to this one. And remember, just 1 hour before the session, that's the limit you have to finish your project. Okay, so you still have all of tonight. If you want to pull an all-nighter, and you still have all of tomorrow, because the sessions are are at night rather, in your time. So yeah, 1 hour before the session. Okay, I hope that's clear. If you are late, the form actually gets a password, so gets password protected. So after 7 p.m., you won't be able to submit your project. But I think you guys still have plenty of time to work on it. You've seen we've programmed, we've been coding some simple functions, but how many sessions have we had where we can program? 2 sessions before, so basically in 2 hours, I was able to create a project from the ground up and code it. So I think you guys have a very good chance. I have plenty of time, so just take the chance and go ahead. This is pretty cool, right? Okay, so I just want to remember you guys here on the Notion. I'll send it to you again in case you don't have it. Here on the Notion, right when you open it, if you scroll down a bit, you're gonna see this part, deliverables. What do we need to deliver? What do we need to submit in order for our project to be considered for the certification? We need to deliver a functional smart contract. What does functional means? Well, all of the functions, all of the actual methods you called have to actually work. I need to be able to deploy your contract and make calls to your contract, right? So that's you can use roster assembly sleep, but that's a must. You can design a mock-up that would show how your app would work. Like going back to the example I gave you on the first class, if I'm gonna make a COVID test registration form, you just do a mock-up, you just draw it on Paint or even on a notebook by hand if you want. Just draw it. Okay, I would have a login button here. I will have a form here and a button here that submits the form and interacts with the blockchain. And then the user would see something like this. Just a mockup. It doesn't have to be an actual front end or anything like that. Remember, the main point of all of this certification is for you guys to learn how to code the smart contract part, which would be basically the backend of an app. So just the contract, right? That's what we're after. And of course, the mockup if you are going to make an actual D app. If you want to see some apps, awesome, let me near that. So I don't remember exactly. I'll be sending you guys a link so you can see some of the apps that have been developed here in NEAR. So you can check them out. I'm pretty sure it's on here on the Notion document, so you can also look it up here. But yeah, if not, I'm gonna send you that link so you guys can see some.
Here is in the chat, Isaac.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Christina. Yeah, that's the link. You basically just click it and you can see a bunch of the apps that have been developed here on NEAR. And if you want to see an example of the front end or how some of the apps work, you can go ahead. A lot of them, look, have their GitHub repository available for you to see code. However, these are more full-fledged apps, so might be a lot of code to look at. I would on the code part, I would recommend you to stick to the examples that mirror our page. Those are smaller contracts and simpler contracts. So, but if for some reason you want to see the GitHub repository of these huge apps here in here, there's the GitHub repository. Remember, all of this is open source, so you can actually just see the code. You can even actually just clone the repository and run yourself the applications, right? So it's pretty good. It's pretty useful. But again, for code, I would recommend you guys just to stick to examples that mirror.org. Well, that's the link. Yeah, give it a check if you want. And well, again, anybody has worked on the proposals? I lost my track for a moment. We were seeing this. And again, a public GitHub repository, the deliverables. We need a functional smart contract. This, a mockup. I don't have any mockups here on my laptop because I'm actually a backend developer, so I don't do a lot of mockup, but yeah, just a drawing of how you would see your app to look like, and a public GitHub repository. So that's the form we're gonna send you requires you to paste a link of GitHub repository. And what's gonna be in this GitHub repository? Well, your project, right? Your functional smart contract. All of that project. If you want to upload all of these projects, that's okay. I'll use look up for the contract, and I'll take a look and evaluate your certification based on that. Don't worry if you upload all of the front-end files. I won't even look at them because that's out of the scope of this course. But I really need this file or this contract. Of course, you can also make multiple files, but that's a bit more complex. So just stick to one file. Okay, so that's all we have to deliver. And remember, 1 hour before the session starts. And now again, remember, please register if you plan to submit a proposal. Register on the Airtable link I just sent you. You need to be registered on that link in order for you to be able to submit your proposal. That's because we use the same platform to do so. So it's going to ask you, oh, who are you? And if you can find your name, then you won't be able to submit your proposal. So yeah, that's enough for all of the announcement or the initial announcements we have to do here. Let's start with the beef of the course, and that's coding, right? So yesterday, there are a couple functions I would actually like to show you guys, so to help you more on your project. So like I said before, don't copy this code, change the name of the variables, and call it a day. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna know this. I wrote this code, so I know how it looks. But add your own flair to it. So what I'm gonna do is gonna give you some examples of some more stuff we could add to this code to make it a bit more functional. Remember that if you want to see any of the information of the functions that we have available here on the assembly script SDK, there's a near documentation. I will send you that link. This is all of the documentations, and if you go here to smart contracts, you can see there's assembly script section and Rust section. So whatever language you're using, you have the documentation for both of them. You have a link for the SDK and all of that. So there are a lot of stuff you can do. You can actually you can also see the contracts, example contracts that we have. So you can like maybe think on adding something else, or you can use what I'm gonna do here. So yeah, remember what this contract do? Well, it just has two methods. One is for setting a participant, another is for getting a particular participant, right? That's all of that's all of what our code does. Sorry. Okay, so I was telling you guys that here, if we run the near call, I don't remember the name of the contract, so we're gonna. Oh, I think I actually deleted the folder. Okay, and the deploy. Let me deploy this because I forgot what's the contract account. So it's was on file and it's on contract, build, release, return. That wasn't. Let me just deploy that. Well, yeah, to exemplify what I want to show you guys, if I call this is totally or contract, and the method is called set participant, and then it asks me for my account and a lot of other stuff. And then I come here again, and since I'm writing to the blockchain, I put account ID and I put my account again, right? So we're duplicating the information basically here. we can avoid that. And I want to show you guys this. Well, this is a class that the new blockchain has access to. It's called context, right? This context, you need to import it from the new SDK from assembly script in this case. So this context has a lot of properties. We can access them by writing context, clicking a dot, and we see all of this. We can see the account balance of the account that we are signing the transaction with. We can see the log balance in case like you are staking some tokens. We can see if when we run the method, we attach some money, so we can see the attached deposit. We can see some information of the blockchain, like the index, timestamp, the name of the contract, and a lot of information. And I was going to use it to see the context sender, right? Who is sending this information, because the person sending the information is basically the account ID we have here. Account ID, and whatever we put here, that's who's signing this transaction, who's sending it. So we can actually use that to our advantage. I deleted this part. We don't need to send the account anymore. And context dot sender, what I don't remember is, if I need to put a parenthesis, let me just look it up now. Okay, that should work then. So then we're just sending the name, the age, and our account is equal to whoever sends this information. And then when we set this account, we also, well, we also use the account name as a unique value in order for us to register. You remember, guys, I showed you last time that if I try to run the command with different information using the same unique value, I'm basically just modifying the other value. So that would mean that anybody can edit or contract, right? So that's not what we want. So with this, well, first I need to build it. Well, with this, we'll be able to avoid that part. I'm gonna add something else, like maybe I need them to, well, the age, if they add, they put 0 as their age, that would actually work because we're not checking if it's a valid age. So let's add something to avoid that. So there's something called assert. This function is quite cool. This is basically for input checking, right? So in this case, I need the age to be greater than 0. And if this condition is not met, then I'm gonna send something. You can't have 0 years. So how this works here, whatever I need, and if this is not true, then it's going to come here. I need you guys to have clear that this is what I need, not what I don't need. If I put here, if the age is equals to 0, then, well, this is incorrect actually, like that. If the age is equals to 0, then I'm gonna send this. No, that doesn't work. I need the age to be greater than 0, and if not, then you show this. So I'll show you guys how this runs. And well, that's a couple things we've done. Let's just save this and build it. Remember, I want to deploy this contract, so I need to build it first. npm run build, right? Okay. Something else I wanted to, well, this builds I wanted to talk to you about yesterday was this part of the class. Maybe I'm going to add another property to this class. I'm going to call certify, and it's going to be a Boolean value. Okay. So, right, whenever if I just build this information and then go ahead and try to get information that's already on the blockchain, the blockchain is gonna say, hey, there's this thing called certified, but I don't know what that is. I just have account name and age. What's certified? And it's gonna panic. Yeah, this is gonna stop working. I'll show you guys in a bit an example of this. So that's why we use a lot the fact of that we can erase these accounts. So if you are adding more properties to your object that you're storing on your blockchain, then when you try to get the information that's already stored on the blockchain, it's not going to be able to deserialize because before it didn't have this. So we just delete the account, the near dev account, and we create a brand new contract. And this brand new contract is going to be empty. You're going to have to, again, set all of the information you've said before, but you'll be able to have your new structure, whatever you use. So also, just in case that, oh, I added this, but now it's not working. Why is that? Oh, it's because of this, right? So let me just look here. Something for you guys. And let me do this smaller because I like this. Or whatever. Okay. So I'm gonna deploy this contract, and again, it's near dev deploy, what we used to learn. And it's going to be on the file, and again, contract, build, release, return, that was. I'm gonna dev deploy that. It's going to deploy it to this account, and that's it. Okay, so if we do near call and this account, oh, this is kind of long, so I'm also gonna teach you guys. We could use something called environment variables. What is this? It's basically a variable here on the console, on this particular console. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So if I call this command export, I'm gonna call it contract, and I put equals, then I put whatever contract we got. So now, if I press enter, nothing happens. But if I call that variable, it's gonna show me that this contract thing now has this value. So whatever I use this is going to get substituted by this. So that way we can avoid being copying, pasting the same account and making the call a lot longer than it needs to be, right? So now we are going to near call. So remember, we added this part of the age, and we added the fact that we no longer need the account, right? So I'm gonna call the contract and set participant, and now it's asking us for only two variables. It's asking us to send our name. My name is Isaac Klassen, and it's asking us to send our age. Our age is 27 years, and now I send my account. Right. So this is a bit shorter than it was yesterday, and it's a bit less bloated. So looks nice, right? Before I send this, let me try to send 0. Remember, we added something that prevents us to set 0 as our age. So what should happen here? Well, the contract should panic, and when it tells us the reasons why it panicked, it's going to tell us that you can have 0 years, because that's what we told the contract to show us, right? So execution error, smart contract panic, you can have 0 years. This is the message we put right here. So yeah, now we have a way to avoid the people putting stuff that may break our application. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, let's run this command again. 27. And technically, this should work, right? Yeah, register created successfully. That's great. Remember, we can just come here and check all of the information. And if you notice, we didn't send our account here because we're sending it already here when we are signing the transaction. So if we go ahead and near view get participant, and this asks me for a variable called account right here. So I'm going to say account. And if we send this information, oh, I don't know what I did. Okay, let me check. And here, view, we didn't specify the contract. Get participant, right? Again, account. That's it. Okay, if you see, we didn't send our account last time, but it still is registered to our account because we are using the context to get the account name, right? We didn't have to send it, and that way we also avoid people just putting someone else's account and editing their name. That could cause some problems, right? And we also added some validation in order for people not to put stuff that may break our application. Example being here, the age being 0. It doesn't break it. You could put 0 on a particular ad, but that's not logical, right? So we want to avoid that. Well, something to note here. Well, get participant, I'm also using a account here. Why don't I substitute this account with the context sender? It's the same thing, right? Well, yeah, but no. If I do that, we basically will be able only to get the information of our account because we are getting the information from the context sender. If I'm running the command, and I'm substituting it with the context sender, then I'm always gonna get my information. And that's why we're not using the context sender here. It's not logical. It wouldn't work quite as well as it works like it is now, right? So just a quick observation. And let's say that, well, another thing I want to show you guys is how to transfer money from this account. So there's something called, let me look it up because I actually don't remember the syntax. Contract promise. Okay, this is it. Okay, so well, this is some of a bit of a work that we have here. One near is basically, I'm just gonna import this. I'm importing a variable, and I also need the, okay. That's a data type that's we are importing from the near SDK. Basically, one near is represented as a variable of an unsigned number of 128 bits. That's a big number. If you all of these zeros, like in human language, all of this is equal to 1. But because of the data type, we need it to be like this. That's very technical. I'm not going to explain why, but just know that if you want to use the concept of having one near, just add this to your contract. It's quite useful. I'm going to show you how. So let's, first of all, let's Okay, how are we going to do this? Okay, we're each time we set the participant, we need to actually give you some money. That doesn't make a lot of sense, right, on an application, but we're going to do it anyway because we got a lot of money. We're rich here on testnet near. So I'm gonna use this function called contract promise batch. And now I also need to import it from here. Oh. Oops. Okay. So each time I said I register myself as a participant, I'm gonna give myself a year. So we call contract promise batch dot create. We're gonna create, and you need to put the account here. So we know the account is the contact sender, whoever is sending this information. So let's put it right here. And then if we put a dot here, we can see all of what we can do. We can transfer, we can well, then that's some programming thing. We can stake tokens, we can call a function on that particular contract, we can deploy a contract on this account. So we can do a lot of stuff. As long as you have the access or the keys, you'll be able to do a lot of stuff. But right now, we're just gonna transfer them some money. And we're gonna transfer them one near. See, I didn't have to put all of the zeros. I just added a variable, and now I can use that one near variable anywhere in my code. So that's pretty useful. And I'm gonna use tell the user that I transferred them some money. Buy a coffee. And that's it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but the point of this is just to show you how to do some of the stuff that you may want to do. So in this smart contract, we already saw a lot of stuff. We saw how to create a class. Or this is not gonna work because I added this. Okay, well, let's just participant certify is equal to false. You're not certified yet. Well, I'm not certified yet. Okay. I'm just trying to show you guys a lot of stuff of how that you might want to use. In this smart contract, we already learned how to create a class that's gonna be able to be deserialized by the blockchain. And we learn how to create a persistent collection that each time it's modified is gonna be stored in the blockchain without us having to do anything else, without having to use the storage, right? As long as we modify this collection, it's gonna get modified in the blockchain. So that's pretty useful. We also saw how to create a function that receives some variables and that doesn't return anything, and a function that receives a variable and returns something, right? That's two different things. We also saw how to check for inputs in our code. So we are avoiding people putting that they have 0 years. And we're, of course, this doesn't do a lot here, but you can use this function to check a lot of the input stuff, right? We are able to create an instantiate or class and create an object based on that class. We're able to store that information with a unique key using the context sender. We don't have to ask for our account because we're taking it from the blockchain directly. That's information that the blockchain has. We learn how to send some information back as a console log. Remember, this is just a console log, and this is returning information, right? If you want to, for some reason on the future, get some information and be able to use that information, we're not going to send it in here because this is just a console log. We cannot access it on the front end. We're going to send it here. If I would wire this to a front end, then I would need the participant information that is returning, and that way I can use it. But I'm not going to put the participant on a console log. That's not useful, right? And we also learn how to create a promise to transfer money each time this participant gets registered, right? So that's already a lot of stuff. I have the, yeah. This is not gonna work because we added this. So I'll have to delete the near dev account and deploy it. Near deploy, and again, you can actually just stick all of this to a environment variables. I don't, so you don't have to write it each time, but this is gonna be one of the last times I have to write it, so it's whatever. Build, release, return that was. Okay, let's wait for it to get done. Done. Okay, so well, now we have a new account. So export contract exit is equal to all of this. And well, near, well, this is getting loaded. Near call contract set participant, and it's asking me to send my name. Let's change my name, Mr. Lassen, and it's going to ask me to send my age, 27 years old, count ID. That should be it. Okay, let's send it. Okay. There's something different that we're gonna see with this call. Well, don't get scared if you get something like this. It's just a response from the blockchain that's taking a bit longer to process the information. So just disregard this part. But yeah, register, created successfully, and buy a copy. Oh, that means it transfer me some money, right? Because we programmed the function to transfer me some money. Signed by this person. Okay, that's great. And a lot of information. If you see, we can actually see what the result was, the console log, and you cannot only see it here. This is also public. You can also see it here on the blockchain. We can see what we sent to the method, and if we actually go to my account on the wallet, to my wallet account, if it already got registered, we can see that I received some mail from a different account. So let's wait for it to load. Okay. This is showing me the profile information. Okay, let's wait for it to load. You can see I have Ethereum here on my wallet. Okay, it's not registered yet. But yeah, if you go to your wallet, you're gonna, in a moment when the indexer loads the information, you're gonna see here, you receive 1 year from a contract. So, and that's a bit of information. Let's wait it out. I'll show you in a bit. Okay, let's pretend this contract works wonderfully. That's what I want to actually deploy to another account that's not like this. So you could come here to your wallet, create another account, another cool account. I also actually have this one called NCB projects that I use for my courses. So we're gonna use that account. And there's something cool you can do. If I deploy near deploy NCB projects that testnet, if I deploy a contract to this account, That's it. You cannot undeploy that contract. Technically you can, but it's pretty hard to do, and you shouldn't do it. But once you deploy a contract, either to this account to your own account, that's it. That's a contract that's gonna be there always, right? So something cool to do is actually to create version accounts. I like to create accounts based on a master account. How does this work? Well, I have the small code here. Okay, let me, I don't remember the whole command, but we'll do near create account. And it's going to be called, well, this NCD project start on 25th of April. So 25th, 04, 22, then dot my NCD projects account and that testnet, right? This is the account I'm gonna create. It's basically just putting another thing to the account, then add dot, and then the actual account, right? And it's asking me for the master account. It's called I'm copying NCD projects.test. And it's asking, I can add an initial balance to the account. Initial balance. Let's add use 10. If I create this account, it's gonna save the key to my home directory, like every other account I create or every other account I log in with. And that's it. We have this cool account, right? We just created that, and we can deploy our super project or super contract to that account. That's pretty cool. How do we deploy a contract? We have been using near dev deploy, but this deploys to a dev dash a lot of numbers account. How can I deploy to a specific account? It's pretty easy. We use both near deploy without the dev part, and the account, in this case, this account, and the WASM file. It's again contract build release return. That was it. We wait for a bit. Oh. Count ID. Ah, I was a typo. Okay. Let's wait for it. And as you see, this is quite fast. I just created an account and deployed my contract that's already working in a matter of seconds, right? If I wouldn't have that mistake. So that's it. Now I can call that account, set participant. Again, all of my information. I can set my age, and I'm gonna assign that account, that transaction rather, with my account ID. We call, or we wait for the call to be done, and that's it. We deployed an account, we deployed a contract rather to a account that we just created, all of using the console. And you actually guys can also make calls to that contract if you want to do it, just to test it. I'm gonna send you all of this code. Oh, I'm reading here a question from Timothy. The last question of this form, what program are you interested in, does not include NCD. I don't know why. Maybe we use near certified developer. It's not, well, remember it's called near certified developer. If it doesn't include it, just send me a direct message and I'll check it out, because I don't know why it's not included. Maybe a mistake on the part. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Simasi. I'll check it out. Okay, so we deployed a contract to this account. You can guys call it if you want to do some testing. And see, we created just a full-fledged contract. There's a lot of things going on this small contract. There's most of it make a lot of sense, but if you actually like start building or operate based on this, I think you have a good starting point. I'll send you this code in a bit just so you can check it out. Remember, the sessions are being recorded, so just go back to them, and you need to have your project done tomorrow, 1 hour before our session, right? So that's 7 p.m. for you guys. 1 hour before the session, you need to have filled the form. The form that we're gonna send you to submit the project, it's a different one. I'll send that form to you in a couple hours when we generate it. But yeah, just remember, guys, that you have to have your project submitted 1 hour before the session. Just a quick reminder, what do we need to deliver? We need to deliver the functional smart contract, the code, right? We need to deliver a mockup or application. So basically just draw something how you think your application would look like, and a public GitHub repository. So that's where you're going to upload all of your contract, right? So that's all you need to deliver in order to be able to participate for the certification. But remember, in order for you to be able to submit your project, you need to be registered on that form I just sent earlier, and the form that we've been sending you a couple times throughout the week. So just remember to fill out that form, register yourself as a participant, and yeah, I really hope you guys send out your proposal. So yeah. Before we finish the session, anybody has any questions about what we just saw today? We saw a lot of things. We saw a lot of new functions. We learned how to create a sub account of a already existing account, and we learn how to deploy a contract to this particular account, right? So anybody has any question, please raise your hands. Okay, Justus, and go ahead.
Yes, hello, Clark.
Hello.
I was just asking, this is just a general question.
Mhm.
I believe after we have submitted the project, are we able to get a printable certificate at the end of this 1 week session?
Yeah.
And then the
sorry.
last, can we have send more material about assembly script so that we can go deeper for some of us who might not be comfortable with coding?
Can you repeat that last question, please, Justus? Can you what?
Can you say more materials on assembly script?
Oh, yeah.
Tutorial,
of course.
so that we can be able to maybe on our own get proper projects or contracts.
That's great, Justus. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me send you this link. There's a lot of, I think with this documentation is enough for you guys to start. So I'm gonna send you this, and I'm gonna send you the assembly script introduction. This has everything you need to know. Between this and the sessions, that's enough for you to build a proper smart contract. Like, let me give you a quick example. What I would do with this contract? Well, maybe a participant list, and maybe I would create a function that change the certification to true, and maybe move that move this transfer of money to that function, that whenever I get certificated, I get transfer 1 year as a reward. And maybe I would add something like require you to actually pay money in order to register yourself, like maybe half a year. And if you get certified, you get your half a year and another half a year or something like that. That's something I would do. Those would be 3 functions already. and maybe a for function where you show the people that has already been certified. That's four functions that do a lot of things with the blockchain. So that would be a valid project for me. So just a quick idea of what you guys can do based on this code. Of course, again, don't just go ahead and change the name of the variables. It's not gonna work because this contract doesn't even make any sense. I'm giving you money just for registering. So, well, that may not make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, you can, as you can see, you can actually evolve this contract to do something that actually works. So yeah, and to answer to your first question, Justus, if you're going to submit your project, and that doesn't mean you are already certified. I need to check them out. I need to evaluate your projects, right? So remember, that's just another step. Sending your project, submitting your proposal is another step, and I am the one that decides who will get certified or not. So that's why I'm telling you guys, the first reason I do not certify persons is because they just copy the code we did on class and change the variables. That's not a contract. So that's why this time I try to make it like a weird contract. So I would notice as soon as I see it that you just change the variables. But yeah, just make it your project, and I evaluate that project, and I tell you over the course of the next week if you get certified or no or not. That's how it works. Okay, Justus?
Okay, I was just at the end of it all. Yani, will we get a printable certificate that that you are
Yeah.
certified? So,
Yeah.
if yes, can you show us a sample of one, like one sample of a near certified developer certificate?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them here. They're in Spanish because this is actually the first course I give in English. So I'm just gonna show you a random certificate I have here. So that's a cool example of the certification, right? That's it. That's what you're going to get, and you get it as a PDF file, so you can print it, and it's signed by the leader of the instructors here in Hispano. Okay. Okay. Any other questions you guys have? This is last chance, or well, last chance on person. Remember, you can talk to me on Discord. You can talk to me on Telegram. I would rather you guys go to Discord because if I don't see the messages, somebody else may see them, and they may help you also with your project. So, any other question you guys may have? I'm gonna look at the chat just in case somebody wrote. Could you deploy new contracts to Netlify? If yes, how? Yes, we can, but Netlify is a front end platform, so you would have to have a front end, a full-fledged front end, in order for you to deploy that project to Netlify. So the contract itself, the back end, doesn't need to be on Netlify. But once you have a full application with the front end and back end and all wired up, yes, you can actually deploy them to Netlify. That's too technical in this case, so I won't be able to Netlify. Yeah, this is a project I was working on with another team. So if you see, it's a testing site for an application and it's deployed on Netlify. And this is a real near application that's already running. This is just the test site, but like you can see, it's deployed on Netlify, and it's an application that is running on there. This is one of my accounts. If I log out, I can log back in using my Near account. Let me show you that real quickly. It's going to send me to my wallet, and I'll be able to log in, and that's it, right? But yeah, like, as you can see, you can actually deploy, but again, this is just the front end that's deployed here on the Netlify app. The backend needs to be deployed on Near because it works with the Near blockchain, right? But yeah, just to show you an example, that's possible. Okay, let me see the chat if there's any more questions. Doesn't seem like it. I don't see any raised hands either. So if you guys don't have any questions, that's pretty much it for me. What's next? Well, remember, read the Notion and do your homework. Check out the code. I'm gonna send you this code in a bit on Discord and on Telegram. So again, I'd rather you guys be on Discord. Uh, I'm more active on there. But yeah, I'm gonna send you that code so you can base your project on this. Remember, this session is getting recorded and it's going to be shared later, so you can work based on this session and all of the others. Someone pointed out on Discord that one of the sessions was duplicated. It's already fixed, so you can see all of the 3 past sessions, and in a couple hours, we're gonna upload this one and you'll be able to see it too. So read the Notion, work on your proposal. If any questions, just ping me on Discord. And that's pretty much it for me. I wish you good luck, guys. Remember, 1 hour before tomorrow's session, you need to have submitted your project. And in order to submit your project, you need to register yourself as a participant. Remember to do so. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I really hope you enjoyed this session and have fun. Have fun tomorrow. See you guys.